Failure does not come from losing, but from not trying. This was said by Larry Brown, who is currently the assistant coach to the University of Memphis's men's basketball team. And he was also a former coach in the NBA, or the National Basketball Association. He played basketball at the collegiate level at the University of North Carolina and professionally in the American Basketball Association. He was the only coach in the NBA to lead 8 teams to the playoffs, and the only person to ever coach 2 franchises during a single season. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in September of 2002. This man has experienced his fair share of winning and losing, just like the rest of us. However, it is the hard work that we put in and the lessons that we come out with from these wins and losses that matter. When I was in junior high, we had a really good girls basketball team, and I was very proud to be a part of it. Keep in mind, I went to a very small Catholic school, so there was only about 8 or 9 of us on the team, but we were all very close. We had the best winning record that the school had ever seen. We went undefeated during both our 7th and 8th grade basketball seasons, and we were arguably the best girls basketball team in our county. We practiced every day for 2 hours after school. And some girls even practice outside of this designated practice time. We were very close with each other and with our coaches, who pushed us to become better players and a better team overall every day. However, there was one other team in our league that was also really good, and they put in a lot of hard work and were very skillful players as well. Their team was packed with talented players that many of us knew from rec leagues and were friends with, so we knew that they were good. This is what made our 8th grade championship very memorable. We prepared for this final win for weeks on end, and we knew we had it in the bag. But this is when we got cocky, and we showed that on the court. We talked a big game, but once we were out there, we played sloppy defense, and we couldn't make any of our shots. The other team took advantage of our arrogance, and we had no shot at redemption. This was the longest, most brutal game of basketball I have ever seen to this day. When the final buzzer went off, we were all in shock, as we couldn't believe what we had just allowed to happen on our home court. We hadn't lost a game in 2 years. We didn't remember what that felt like. We even had t-shirts that celebrated our winning success, but not a single one of those wins mattered right now. We had come so far just to be let down in a time where we played without effort whenever we needed that effort the most. And I remember the looks of anger and disappointment on each of my teammates' faces. I remember being the first one back to the team locker room, throwing my Gatorade bottle at the floor because I was so mad as the other girls began to cry. We sat in the locker room, feeling taunted by the cheers of the other team and their fans down in the court. There were also pictures of previous boys basketball teams plastered all over the walls around us, which is where we said that we were going to be the first girls team up there after we won this game. In all honesty, I don't even remember what our coach told us that night, and I'm not sure I wanted to, because it was rough for all of us. What I do remember is the silence, filled by my teammates crying, as I sat there enraged, because I wished more than anything that I could go back and try harder than what I did. I think at that moment, we all wished that we could go back just a span of an hour and to play harder than we did, to play a game where we were united in skill and in friendship, not by self-assurance. I wonder how many disappointing losses Larry Brown's team had suffered, and if they too were overcome by overconfidence. I wonder what our game would have looked like if we had all given our best efforts and tried our hardest. Would we have been reigning champs? Would it have even been a decent game to watch? This all occurred 5 years ago now, but this day still lives in infamy in my mind. I know that night we failed, and every detail of this failure was heartbreaking to a group of 13-year-old girls. We were young, stupid, and way too competitive, thinking that our success was guaranteed, as if we were blessed by Michael Jordan himself. When we played as a team, you could see the effort that we put in at each and every one of those daily practices. The wins after a week of long, hard practicing were the most enriching and rewarding. I promised myself that I would try not to get cocky again. I would prioritize hard work over winning, because at least then you know that you're trying your best. Failure does not come from losing, but from not trying. And I refuse to be a failure again.